So let's get started. So you clicked on this video obviously because of the title. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing, I don't want to put a number on it. I'm just going to go down my list and tell you about the signs, traits, characteristics that I've seen in my 3-year-old toddler, who is now 4, signs of autism. So I did write everything down. Sorry, I am a little under the weather. I wrote everything down in my notes as far as the signs of autism, and then I want to start this video off with a disclaimer. You either clicked on this video because you were either curious, or you may want to see if your point of view is being validated. And I would like to add to that, I am not a professional. I am just a mom who is attentive to their toddler, and I have an 11-year-old. So you just know when things are different. So you can use this video as guidance, but please do not use this video to self-diagnose, treat, or you may be opposite of the reason why you clicked on this video. You either clicked on this video to belittle and have a rebuttal for everything that I have to say, because everybody has the label of autism now. Everybody's talking about autism now, and that's just what it is. Everybody is more aware. So if you're here to tell me that I just want to throw a label on my child, or that, oh, it was vaccines, only thing I have to say to you is bless your heart. That's the era that we're in this life. Sometimes we just have to agree to disagree, especially when us as individuals put our life out on this internet. We open ourselves up to opinions. Everybody has one. You're welcome to your own opinion. But some of y'all just too strongly opinionated, and you don't have to agree, and therefore you don't have to waste the time that you are wasting to type in my comments what you're going to type. If you do not think that it's genetic, God bless you. So without further ado, if you're still here after I already addressed you, if you don't agree, you chose to be here. And I also want to say, I don't want to use this video to cause fear mongering in anyone. I was just like you. I'm just an attentive mother who was knowing that my child was not hitting milestones at a certain pace. But if you don't think autism is a genetic disorder, it is a cognitive delay, or any of that matter, just go ahead and go. So let's get into the video for all the aware parents who are here for the cause. So these will be the signs that I've seen in my toddler. Remember, it's a spectrum. It's very wide. So everything that I display, you may not see in your kid. And then at the same time, someone will say all children do this. And I just want to make you aware that it's not about the children who do it. It's about how repetitive the action is. So, and I got a little TikTok video that I saved that I'm going to let a pediatrician go ahead and say. So these aren't just my words as a civilian, a licensed medical provider. And then you can piggyback off that. And yeah, let's go from there. So the first thing that I've seen in my 3, now 4-year-old, is the most one that is very common. He was not responsive to his name. You can call his name and he would not turn, bat an eye, or anything. And he's well aware that that is his name. He has gotten better because he is in ABA. That's a whole nother topic of discussion. If you want an ABA video, I'll be more than happy to set one up for you guys, to weigh out the pros and cons, because I've been there. I've tried public school. It just wasn't for me. So if you want a video like that, I'll be more than happy to provide one. All right, so the next one is he had limited to no speech. So they have changed the term of being nonverbal and non-speaking. So my son is non-speaking, but he's not nonverbal. You hear him on almost all my videos if he's present. So he does a lot of vocal stimming, but he doesn't have any words. He cannot communicate with you. He does not understand 1 or 2-step commands. He does, yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself, because things that I'm probably going to say right now is already in my notes. Or speech regression. I haven't experienced speech regression because my son had no words and he didn't lose them. So that's what speech regression is. you have these words and then all of a sudden they're gone. Sensitive to certain sounds and textures, whether that's wet, cold, slimy, and a lot of food or oral aversions. So not everything is very triggering to his ears. It's certain things. I kind of got it narrowed down. We don't go out in the outside very often, so I can be able to name more items, but of course the obvious, like a vacuum, if the TV is up too loud, and you're gonna be like, the TV too loud. You just have to see it. Like, you ever turn your TV on and it was at a certain volume and it kind of just shake you? No, it actually hurt. I don't want to say it hurts because I can't tell if what he's displaying is pain. But yeah, he's gonna plug his ears up. Ambulance, loud bells, things like that. Some things that children like, because children are loud. When I say they're loud, just in an environmental area, they're loud, where they're playing with their toys and things like that. No, too loud for him. It could be another kid crying or another kid just basically playing. And he don't cover his ears like this. He plugs this hand behind his earlobe and he covered. And then he put this one like this and he covered his ears. We did purchase him headphones, but he does not like it on his head. He has sensory processing disorder as well, but be very careful with a autism diagnosis and a sensory processing diagnosis because they are very similar. But the only thing is, you can have autism and have sensory processing disorder, or you can have sensory processing disorder and not have autism. So yeah, but you can have both. So it's that's why you should seek professional help. He's a tiptoe walker. My son started tiptoe walking at about 2 years old. That's around the time that a lot of people start displaying autistic traits, around that time anyways, because he walked late as well. He was being carried around, even on the ground. He would not get up and walk. But around 2 years old, he was on them toes. Like, I always joked about making a picture, because I don't post my children, but taking a picture of the bottom of his feet, because at the bottom of his feet, say just his feet, the only part that's going to be dirty is, say just his toes, is the top part. The bottom part of his feet, so baby soft. The top part, like he's been working on concrete. Yeah, he's still a tiptoe walker. And if you're new here, I have a video where we went to go get AFOs. I didn't film us going to go get AFOs or anything like that, but I did film me going to go search for shoes that fit the AFOs. So yeah. And AFOs support your heel to be more flat. So with your range of motion, it doesn't let you, it's not supposed to let you get up on your toes. It's supposed to help you stay flat. Because if you wait too long, you will have to get Achilles surgery. Now this is a big one that a lot of autistic children, from my experience, poor eye contact. That boy would not look at you in the beginning stages from like 2 to 3. And like I said, he turned 4. He has gotten a lot better, because before we got in ABA, because you know with your diagnosis you do have to wait a while before you can get diagnosed, because they don't want to diagnose too early, and the signs that they are displaying is just of normal toddler behavior. So they wait until they're at least, I think, like 2 or 3, depending on or 3, no, so in my state, which is Florida, I think they don't diagnose until you're at least 3 years old. So his eye contact was 4. He would look everywhere but at you. It has gotten better if you get down to his level and you know, tell him what you need or things like that. So it has gotten a lot better. Stimming. I didn't know what stimming was. So my son either spins, he does jump. He jumps a lot, or he like deep compression. So he either like to throw himself against something, or he'll squeeze himself, or if you have some extra meat on your bone, he likes to take the back of your fat and squeeze it. Difficulty following directions. So this would be someone where you'd be like, oh, that's just, you know, the terrible twos. Neither one of my children had terrible twos. Neither one. So difficulty following directions is 1 and 2 step commands. So if you say, hey, go get me that and bring it to me, that's a 2-step command, because you want them to go get it and you want them to bring it to you. Like, hey, go get your cup and bring me the milk, and then you're gonna pour them some. You can't tell him that. And even though you still want to have a conversation with your autistic child, or your child who you may think is autistic, still display these forms of communication. I didn't do baby talk with neither one of my children. Are they? No, because they're gonna grow up and say them words crazy. No. So I still have a conversation with him now that I'm more educated and more well versed. I'm only 4 years in, so and I say 4 years in because he is 4, but technically since his diagnosis I'm only about a year in. But still communicate with them effectively. So when that time comes, because your child might not be non-speaking all his life or all her life, they may gather words. So still have that communication with them. So and still have them to have that the autonomy. So it's like for my son, for example, because he can't verbally tell me what he wants, he is a guider. He will take your hand and take you to wherever he wants. And yeah, so if you go to the kitchen, you open up that fridge, he know what he want out of there. It might take him a little minute because like the fridge is kind of like overwhelming, but you know he want, if he see his items at level and he can't open it, he gonna bring it to you. And so he has his own form of communication and he had to learn that because he was not like that. I had to figure out what he wanted, and I know that sounds like everybody got to do that. I'm not talking about in the baby stages where you don't know if your baby hungry, wet, sleepy. I'm talking about in the toddler stage, this person can move around and walk around, but they can't tell you what they want, tell you that their needs, tell you that they're in pain. Fixations. This is a very big one, and this is a touchy subject because a lot of autistic kids like water. My son is one of them, and all you hear on the news is tragic accidents about water. If you're not familiar, some places, I don't know if it's free, but I know they offer either a free or reduced rate for children who are on the spectrum with swimming lessons. I plan on putting my son in it. Right now, he's still learning 1 and 2 step commands, and I know these people are probably trained to work with autistic kids. I just know right now my son isn't ready, but very soon I'm going to get him into it. The more and more I see little kids on the news or Facebook or whatever, the more and more I get afraid. Like, I want to move into my own house eventually, and I'm thinking about, I don't want to live by no water. It's just a lot of things. Yeah, we could talk about safety in another video about door locks and things like that. So my son fixations are water and like spinning objects, but since he's been in ABA, and I'm so grateful for them, they have exposed him to a lot of more toys. My son had toys, but he never played with them as intended. Now my son plays with the magnet towels. He plays with the fruit that pulls apart, like that you're supposed to cut with the Velcro. He plays with Legos. We don't have any Legos yet, but that's the next thing on my list. I did order him some magnet towels. And when he started playing this, he gets fixated on it like that. That's it. He's gonna walk around with it. He's gonna constantly play with it. All of that. He does like spinning objects as well, and then cars that roll, the ones that you push back and let go. He likes that as well. And I know that sounds like a normal type, but you just have to see it or be in the moment to recognize or understand what I'm trying to say. Repetitive behaviors. So repetitive behaviors is a wide spectrum. Well, I don't want to say it's a broad area. It's a lot of things that you could be repetitive about. So it's similar to OCD. You know, some people have to touch something 900 times, but another person doesn't. So it's different. For my son, his repetitive action is Mickey Mouse. He will watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Well, he's kind of different from most children I see have to replay the same. He doesn't have access to a tablet. I tried the whole tablet thing. He was not interested, and I'm kind of glad, because introducing a tablet and trying to take it away, that's a whole nother conversation. But you turn this TV on back here, that keep playing ads while I'm trying to have like a little aesthetic vibe. But anyways, You turn this on and it's not Mickey Mouse. We kind of got into Bluey. We're not full-fledged in there without crying. He could watch like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but it's like, okay. Because I do try and expose him to new things. But you turn Mickey Mouse on here, it's a wrap. He'll watch all 64 of the same episodes over. Look at me messing up. He'll watch all 64 episodes of the same ones over and over. And he already know what parts is his parts, because he'll get up to this thing and climb up on this little changing mat and put his face in that TV just so he can laugh, so he can see the parts. So it's like 3D to him. It's so funny. So yeah, that's his repetitive actions. Did I list anything else? I think that's really kind of the only one that I see. He does have a lot of repetitive actions that goes in hands with stimming, so I'm not gonna go and repeat that. But shows, yeah, I hope you have Wi-Fi, and I hope it's unlimited. And this is a lot. This is a lot. This is a big one also. Poor eating habits. Children who are on the spectrum, I don't know how they living on what they eating on, but they living. These kids have their set foods that they eat, especially in the younger age. I know a lot of people are picky, but autistic kids, they picky to a whole nother level. And I don't even like to use the term picky, because I feel like people are particular about what they like. I have a particular eater, which is my 11-year-old. She eat a lot of stuff, and then she don't like stuff. But she'll try it, but if she don't like it, I can't force her to eat it. And I'm not going to label her as picky. She's just particular. She doesn't eat everything, but she has a wide, her palate is decent. My son, now I will say my son isn't a McDonald's eater. We don't eat out a lot because I put my daughter on a diet restriction, and I don't want to be that person who have to look up every menu where we go. So he is a French fry baby, like McDonald's fries. And I just said my son is not a McDonald's baby, and I mean like chicken nuggets, and I gotta go to the grocery store and buy him, well, I gotta go to McDonald's and buy him chicken nuggets. He'll tear their fries up though, and that's only like when we're going to therapy. I'll get him some fries to hold him over, because he does go for 2 hours now, and he goes 2 hours right after ABA, so it's a very long day for him. But the fries that we keep at home, I'm looking in the deep freezer trying to think of the Rally's checker fries. I have to keep me a bag on deck. I even have to send them to therapy, and I'm so grateful for ABA. And like I said, I know I'm getting off topic. Undiagnosed ADHD, forgive me. But them Rally's fries, we had to actually switch, and I'm so glad that he likes them. We used to get the Idaho fries, but I don't know what happened with the batch or what happened. The potatoes came dark and brown. They didn't taste the same, and these kids know when something ain't the same. You hear me? I tasted the difference as well, but it is so much different to them. They don't like change, baby. What this is you're giving me. So I had to find him some more fries, and now we're hooked on the Checkers fries. If them fries ever go out of stock, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He is getting exposed to more food, so I will say that. So a new food that I found out that he loves is chicken, whether it's store-bought like rotisserie chicken, or if I make chicken. He only likes the inside. He's not a big fan of the outside, but he will eat it. That's something I don't have to chase him down for him to taste it. He loves him some chicken. And then he just snacks a lot. So like Whales, which is crunchy, salty. And then my son doesn't have a, now some autistic kids only like soft. Some autistic kids only like chewy and salty. My son is a mixture. He like yogurt, he like chicken, he like oatmeal. He like grits and eggs, but it has to be mixed together. And I know I'm saying a lot of foods, like, oh, my autistic toddler only eats this. And that's just because I exposed him to a lot of stuff. He still doesn't get a lot of nutrients, which I supplement with vitamins, but I still expose him to the food. And thankfully, even if he takes 3 is his limit. And that is something that I realized, like, if it's not his thing, after the 3rd one, it's like, okay, I tried it 3 times, I'm done. But I am so grateful, but it did take a lot of trial and error. I had to keep exposing him to it. So if you feel like you're being defeated, I've been there. I'm still defeated because he doesn't eat things that are high in nutritional value. But I'd rather him have a belly full of something than nothing. This is another one, engagement with others. He's not gonna go play with Susie, Keisha, Tyler. I'm just throwing out random names. He prefers to play by himself. If he play with you, it has to be at his time, on his time, and you have to play what you want to play. Or play how he wants to play. He does not engage with peers. He is getting a lot better. Every month we have an ABA meeting about concerns, things that he's learned, things that they're seeing, things we're like to work on. When they do parallel play, where you sit in front of someone like this, and he's gotten a lot better. He doesn't have to play with the other child, but he has to be in close proximity with the kid. And what I love about this ABA center, they learn through play, so nothing is forced, nothing is traumatic experience for them. They're not forced to do anything, but they do have to try. So, but like I said, I'll make a whole ABA video. I made one, but it didn't come out that great. I kind of like this setup right here, so if I ever do another sit-down video, it'll be something similar like this, because I feel the vibe. But if you want an ABA video, let me know. And then this is the last one that I wrote down from memory. He has no sense of danger. If you take him out that door, you better have him by the shirt. You don't have to have him by the shirt, I'm just exaggerating, but you need to hold him by his hand. And what I've realized with a lot of autistic toddlers, and I just know this based on what I can see, because like I said, my son goes to a center with other children, so he doesn't do in-home ABA, he actually goes there. And every parent got their child by the wrist. And I know why. They don't want to be touched like that. Unless they give you their hand and initiate the contact. Other than that, they're comfortable with you just holding on to their wrist. And it don't got to be like a tight grab. You just holding on to their wrist like this. And we walk to where we got to go. He will run. He used to didn't do this. He is an elopement risk. We used to go out on the porch when he was younger, and he'll just run back and forth on the porch. Now, he go down the driveway, and then I live on a street, a road. He doesn't know to look both ways far across the street. He's gonna pew. And this happened over the last 6 to 8 months as he progressed. Because, you know, even though he's a certain age, mentally he may be a lot younger than what he is. But yes, he is an elopement risk, which means he'll run from you. He has gotten a lot better with communication, and that's with me communicating. Like, he understands. A lot of people think autistic kids are just SLOW, and them children are smart as heck when I tell you. So if we're coming out from ABA, and I give him some sense of responsibility or accountability, we're walking out, I don't automatically hold him. I hold him when he shows that he can't be held in a familiar area. I will not try this in a Walmart parking lot or anything like that. It's just, this is a familiar area to him and I know there's no immediate danger for at least about 50 steps. So when we come out of ABA, we walk out the door, we walk together. And he's a smart little elopement, because he'll look behind you to see, like, are you gonna come after me, like if I run? So what I realized is not to immediately run after him. This won't work for everybody, so please do not try this at your own risk. I do not recommend it. So he'll look behind or whatever. So what I'll do is I stop now, because you're not about to have me running after you all the time. I will run after you, especially if your life is in danger. But like I said, we got about a good 50 steps before danger approaches. The phone rung and threw me off track. But yeah, so we will come out of ABA, and I'll stand there and say, hey, you're going the wrong way. The car is this way. And it's kind of starting to click more that it's happening. It's like, okay, it's starting to click, and he's starting to gain these skills. So that's the last one that I have on my list, based on memory that I had wrote down. If you are someone who has an autistic toddler and somebody is watching this video to get, what's the correct term? I forgot what I was gonna say. The ads keep throwing me off. Like, how you run a screensaver, but you want ads on it. I get it, you wanna get paid. But anyways, so I'm going to end the video here, but I just want to add and give you some words of encouragement. Autism is not new. it is now being talked about. So a lot of people are discovering it. A lot of people are doing, are making you more aware. A lot of people are now feeling comfortable to even talk about it after having an autistic child from back in the day. And a lot of people, I forgot that famous Caucasian man, he's autistic, and he's before all of our time. So I want to leave you with this piece of advice. Nobody knows your child better than you, and at the end of the day, nobody's going to watch your child. They will prefer to label them as that child is just bad, that child is this, that child is that, and then don't be the person who try and express yourself to a person who's older. They would have you feeling like crap. They would have you thinking that that child is okay, he just needs some more time, or she just needs some more time. A lot of these people are stuck in time. A lot of people are scared of change. Do not be that person who lets somebody else's thoughts influence the quality of life for your child. A lot of things are not black and white all the time. You can't do it all. That's why there are people out there to help you. I know some people have this thing about doctors and all kind. Oh, speaking of doctors, I need to play that video for y'all. I'm gonna find it while I'm talking. Yeah, people are stuck in time. I grew up in the 90s. I knew nothing about autism. If you could walk and talk, you were normal. But there are some children, they don't use this term anymore. They just say it, they're just starting to just say it's an autism spectrum disorder. I guess because a lot of people weren't qualifying because you didn't have everything. And I feel like that wasn't fair to a lot of people, because I myself feel like I'm undiagnosed with a lot of things that I see in my children. But because I grew up in a time where mental health was not serious or talked about, a lot of us are just dealing with our own traumas and trying to figure out how to navigate them and how to express ourselves without someone just saying you need to get over that or you need to heal from that. But it's like, how do you? And I understand now that there are therapists. I won't say now because there's always been a therapist, but you don't know what a therapist is when you're growing up and stuff like that. So yeah, just don't let nobody change your mindset. Even if you think something's wrong with your kid and you later find out that there's nothing wrong with them, that is okay, because you took the initiative to find out what struggles that they are having. Because it may not be autism, like I said, it may be the sensory processing disorder. Your child may have a global development delay. There are other things that are underlining that look similar that may not be the same, but there might be something. So just don't count yourself out. Don't let nobody, yeah, I'm gonna play this man video and then I'm gonna end this video. We can chat it up in the comments. Like I said, if you want a video about ABA, I'll be more than happy to talk about that. If you want a video about benefits that you have available to you, I'll talk about that. I don't know all the benefits yet because my son isn't of the age where you can get everything yet. I'll talk about what I know. I do have a friend who was very open, honest, and transparent with me. She has 2 kids on the spectrum. She knows who she is. She's a very private person, so I'm not going to say her name, but she knows who she is. And she didn't make me feel like I was crap when I was trying to explain to her or talk to her about what was going on and things like that. She just listened. So get you somebody who's going to listen. I'm going to play this video.
Use the word autism throughout this topic.
I'm going to rewind it because I wanted to take everything off the screen so you can have your undivided attention.
Dr. Moses here, general pediatrician. I'm going to be talking about autism today, specifically speaking, autism spectrum disorder. That's the term for it, autism spectrum disorder. But you may hear me use the word autism throughout this topic. So broadly speaking, autism is defined as a neurological and developmental disorder, right, that is characterized by persistent deficits in social interaction and social communication persistent deficits with repetitive and restricted movements, interests, and or activities. So that's the broad definition of it. Now, what that means is essentially what this talk is going to be about. I'm going to break it, down the presentation, how we diagnose it, and things like that. We don't know the cause of autism. Let me just get that out of the way. There are a lot of research that's been going on over the past 20 years that's shown a lot of genetic predisposition. There are a lot of genes that have been identified in certain children that have autism. We've seen, parents that have more than one child with autism, basically telling us that there may be a genetic predisposition, meaning if you have one child that has autism, the likelihood of you having another one that has autism is a little bit higher. We've seen twins where both of them have autism, so certainly we know there's a basis of genetics in it. Another thing that we know is there's some environmental basis as well. We've seen autism that's slightly higher in advanced maternal age, older mothers. We see a higher chance of autism there. Babies that are born extremely premature, babies that, maybe had some sort of oxygen deprivation at birth, have a higher chance of autism. So all of these things are environmental factors, but there are other babies that have some of these same exposures and some of these same risk factors that don't have autism. So that's why there's really no black and white cause of autism. It's a mix of environmental and genetic things. That being said, we know autism is not caused by parenting styles or the way you discipline your child. So don't believe it. We know autism is not caused by vaccinations. There are way too many studies that have been done by different scientists, different biologists, different, medical people from different continents that have done these studies over and over again that has shown no link between vaccines and autism. So again, I just want to put that out there. There's been no link found between autism and vaccines. Now, what is the presentation of autism? So number one, social emotional reciprocity. So what that means is the child doesn't really understand emotions. They don't understand how you're feeling. When you smile at a baby, they smile back at you. When you laugh, they may laugh back. The older kids, when you cry, they may show some sort of concern. So in some kids that have autism, they're unable to reciprocate the emotional awareness. So when you smile at them, they may, frown or look away. When you're crying or showing a heightened expression of emotion, they may not even acknowledge that that's happening. They may not be able to reciprocate back and forth discussions or dialogue with you, in kids that are able to talk at this point. So essentially, it's a lack of awareness on the thoughts and feelings of others. Another thing that we see is nonverbal communication. So these children certainly have difficulties making eye contact. There are times you may make a face at a child and do something like that, and the child responds. You do that to a kid with autism, they may not even show a reaction to that. When you try to talk to them, they don't make eye contact. When something sudden happens, in a room, maybe there's a loud bang or a loud sound, one child may, respond and look around to see where the sound came from. A loud bang happens, a child with autism may not even acknowledge that loud sound. Something else we see is the tone of voice may be too high or too low. A child with autism may always use their outside voice, even inside the house. They scream when they talk, or they yell certain things out loud, or they may speak in a very monotone and low voice. Something else we see is just a strong difficulty developing, social skills and social interactions. So they may have difficulty adjusting in social settings, showing a lack of interest in social interactions with other kids. You may be at a birthday party and all the kids are running around, but the one child is in the corner just standing.
Enjoyed this video. If you do like this video and you enjoy content like this, please give me a like and a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, I'll be more than happy to produce it, because it is in my comfort zone. And willing that I'm wanting to talk about, or that I'm willing to talk about without too much exposure, or without being too transparent. I do like my sense of privacy, but I understand that I am posting on the internet with a lot of people who I do not know and who do not know me. But I still think as a content creator, you have to have boundaries. So yeah, whatever I feel comfortable talking about and it comes natural like this, I am willing to talk about it. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and like it, thumbs up, share it with somebody who may need to see a familiar face, a familiar skin tone, a familiar something to just, I don't know, who just may need the extra push or the extra but without being badgering. Don't badger them, don't force it. I don't know how to explain that, because I was very open and I kind of did my own research. So when I found out that my son was autistic, it was kind of like a relief for me, but I know everybody don't have that same ending. Some people cry, some people think that they did something wrong. I was kind of relieved. It was like a weight off my shoulder. I just felt 10 pounds lighter. It was just, yeah. So I am going to go now. My battery is only 10%, and this video actually is 45 minutes long. So let me go ahead and chop, chop, chop.